Hello there and welcome. In this lesson, I'm going to cover title building in more depth. In the last chapter, we have covered the basics of title building and how to do it inside of Zik Analytics. We're still going to be using Zik Analytics for this, but now we are going to be doing more research and make sure that our title stands out, because the title is one of the most important things when it comes to our listing on eBay. It's one of the only things that we can control to be pushed up there where people can search for us and click on our product. With that said, let's get started already. So the first thing I did is I made sure to find the product. So right here, I found this product. Typed the products right here. So I typed SATA cable. I've stripped everything else from this and just kept SATA cable. Clicked on search. And once in the search bar right here, I found my product up here. So with that, I was able to open this in eBay. I made sure to save this in a folder, just like the usual things we used to do. So with that said, now let's look into the next section. Now that I am in the eBay store, I'm just going to go for the first listing right here. And I'm going to, first of all, before even entering to Zik Analytics again, I'm just going to analyze the title. And I can see that already this part right here, hard drive adapter, cable, is repeating with every single one of them. So yes. USB 3 to 2.5 SATA 3 hard drive adapter. So USB 3, and I can see that already is repeating. So in this case, you can see that the rest is what's different. So cable / UACP SATA to USB 3.0 converter. And you can see right here, this as well is kind of similar. Actually, it looks very, very identical at this point, even though it's different stores. And I can see that this one also is kind of the same, but here it says the 2 instead of the dash, and it doesn't have the slash right here. So minor changes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the template of this. So I'm just going to take the template. I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to remove this at this moment. I'll go back to all of that later on. I'll click on search. So right here in search, I can find relatable terms. So here now I'm going to copy my title. So it contains 80 characters out of 80 characters, as I showed you previously. And by the way, what I suggest you to do is actually to take all of those products inside of Zik Analytics and create a folder, just like we usually do, just to keep track of everything when you're trying to make a listing, which we're going to cover in this chapter. So right here, we can see that the average searches for this keyword right here are 599, the competition is 667, and the sales are the following. So there is two ways to go about this. The first way is to try and find gaps in the keywords and in the titles. So for example, if I found that there is a word right here that's not being used by a lot of people, I might try to plug it in. But otherwise, what you might do is do the opposite. Is try to find things that people are not going for and that are relatable to the product. Now, the problem with this is it might be the opposite, because sometimes you find keywords that might seem like they're related to the product, but they're not. So I don't really suggest this strategy as much as the first strategy, just trying to find gaps, just trying to reorganize things, just trying to make it different from others, and just trying to get a shot at trying to rank in the algorithms. So as I've explained also in the previous lesson, you've got the long-term keyword searches and you've got the short-term keyword searches. I'm not going to be focusing about the Zik Analytics tool here rather than the title building more. So the first thing that we really care about is this first part. So in other products, you might notice that the first part makes sense and the second part does not make sense for human. Well, that's on purpose, because the first part is for readability, it's for other people to read. But the second part is for the algorithm, it's for keywords and so on. And you'll notice that with every single listing right here. So keep that in mind. So again, back to the title building in this case. So we can see that this product right here, I might change this for 3. So that's the first thing. I'll go back to the AliExpress listing. I can see SATA 3 to USB 3.0. So as you can see here, USB 3.0 to 2.5 SATA. I might change the order because this tree actually might be conflicting with this one. So what I might do right here is go for this kind of title. So SATA 3 to USB 3. And let me see if people are searching for that. So to USB 3 converter, adapter, as you can see, to 2.5 SATA, 3 to 2.5. Okay, that has some volume right here. It has some sales. It has less and less competition than this. I might go down for something like this. So 3 to 2.5, and then have a description about it. So 3 to 2.5, SATA to USB. Okay, let me delete this bottom part right here. I'll get back to it later. To USB. And let me see this as it says here 3.5. So we have that in our title. And then we have to USB 3.0 converter. So I like that. So yeah, we'll do that to USB 3.0 converter right here. And now that's good. So this kind of makes sense to the person that's reading it. So 3.0 to 2.5 SATA to USB 3.0 converter. So this is a part and this is another part. So yeah, that's good. So also another thing to really take in mind with this. So for example, if we go back to here, we will try to avoid any duplicate keywords. So USB 3.0, USB 3.0, this is really not that useful. We have SATA and SATA as well. So those keywords are already detected by the algorithm. So repeating them does not make sense whatsoever. So we'll try to avoid that as well. So what we will go for here is, maybe I'll keep this generic title right here, and then I will have, for example, drive adapter. So those keywords right here, drive adapter. I'll have cable, this cable slash thing right here. And then, for example, let's go to second page to find the short. So external cable. Now that doesn't make sense. So hard disk slash SSD, I will type in just SSD because this is not for the hard disk. The hard disk requires power. So let me go down even more. So we can do also data. Let me see. I think I saw that at the first page, maybe. No, not really. So we'll remove that. So right here we have got to 3.0 to 2.5 SATA to USB. So I'm going to remove this, and actually I'll type the tree just like they typed this in their titles. Converter drive adapter cable. So right here, USB 3 to 2.5, USB 3 to SATA 3 hard. So we can see, do I have hard? Let's put that there. Let's put that the word. So adapter, let me just look at some other long-term keywords. Yeah, okay. This is enough keywords for now. It makes sense. I think what we will do right now is actually optimize this first title right here, because actually if you try to read it, 3.0 to 2.5 SATA to USB 3 converter, this makes sense, but it could be much clearer than this. So if we head here, you can see USB 3 to, so right here, USB 3 to 2.5 SATA. And yeah, so USB 3 to 2.5 SATA. If we do that, we might have to compete with all of those people. So we might actually just leave it like this. And I would like to keep in mind that the most important things is, as I said, look at other competitors, look at what they're doing, take that title either from eBay or AliExpress, and then try to add things for it. So as we said, we took that title, we removed any duplicates because it does not make sense to include duplicates. The first part makes sense to the reader. The second part is just for the keyword and the algorithm. So keep that in mind. So I'm also going to take just some inspiration right here from AliExpress. So we can see SATA 3 to USB 3 adapter cable. So do we have the keyword adapter? Yep. We have the keyword cable. Yep. So speed data to USB adapter with power port support. So let's check if it actually has that in the product, just so we don't have any mistakes. So I'll also include SSD, HSD, hard drive. So let's include that here. So SSD, HDD, hard drive. I think we have already the keyword hard drive. Yeah. So now we just lack one more keyword. So let's try and do this one, dash SATA. So right here. Yep. So 3.0 to 2.5 SATA. Right here we have SATA 3 to USB 3. And then we have here, so we can actually SATA 3 to USB. SATA 3 to USB. Let me delete this, rearrange right here. USB 3.0. So 3.0. I'll delete the 2.5 right here. So that will make us at least stand out from the eBay sellers right here. That will make a better sense to the viewer. Also, it will. Now we have done this in Zig Analytics. Let's look at another tool that we can use for this. So there is another tool called title-builder.com in your favorite browser. Type title, builder, eBay. It is a free tool that you can use. Click on the first link right here and you'll be good to go. Click get your item title. And also from here, we are going to click this, get your item title. And from here, what we are going to do is I'm going to go to eBay. I'm just going to search this keyword right here, the main keyword. So describe your item in 2 to 4 keywords. I'm going to click the search button right here. So as you can see right here, now I have some more data. I also have SATA, USB adapter cable, and we can see that I've already implemented all of those. In some cases, you might find that Zig Analytics might have some other data and this website might have some other data. There is no problem if you can see some small keywords that are different. Otherwise, you might be looking at the wrong product. So you might be searching something here and you might be searching something else here. But in this case, I'm searching the both things. So the results are going to be very, very similar to each other. So we have SATA right here, USB adapter cable power. What we have the extra right here are the following keywords. So hard drive, this tree right here, or eyes, HDD converter, SSD, USB 3, cable. So yeah, all of those are also included in our title. So yeah, and that's about it for today's lesson about title building. We have covered it in more depth than we have previously done, but this just to emphasize the importance of the title because it's the only way you can rank on eBay and it's the only way you can be seen by others. And if you remember, being seen is one of the most important steps to be successful at dropshipping on eBay. And thanks a lot for following alongside with this lesson. I will see you in the next one.